Hi everyone, welcome back. Sandy here. If you're new, I am going to be working with the Cricut Engraving tool today. And this is a tool that you can use on your quick swap housing where you push the button down and you can pull it off. Push the button down and you get it back on. And the engraving tool has a number 41 on it, and that's how you identify it. Let's try that again. There's the 41. And the project I'm going to be doing is I'm using these aluminum sheets from Cricut. And I wait till any of this stuff goes on sale before I buy it. But this is a 4" by 4" square aluminum sheet, nice and thin. You can see how thin it is. And I'm going to engrave a design on it. As I go along and make this project, I will share with you different tips and tricks on how to use the engraving tool, how to put this down onto your mat, tips and tricks in Cricut Design Space. So let's get started. This is the image that I am going to engrave on my aluminum sheet today. I just went in and searched "Be Kind" and this popped up, and then clicked on it and insert it into my project. There it is. And it comes in as a basic cut, so then you will want to change it over to an engrave. And when you change it to an engrave, it'll look like this. And so a couple tricks I want to go over with you all on how to make sure you get the perfect alignment onto your mat. So I'm going to get rid of this because I don't need it. So I sized this down. So I'm going to detach this right now because I have this little circle up here I'm going to talk about in just a minute. So I sized this down to about 3.5 by 3.5 because the aluminum sheet is 4 inches. And so the trick that I learned, I cannot remember the channel that I learned this from. If I find it, I'll put it in the description box down below. But what you do is you take a circle, you insert a circle. So all you do is go to Shapes, insert a circle right here, and you make it 0.1. So change it from whatever the default is to 0.1. And it makes it this teeny tiny little circle. And then you want to change it to engrave because you want it to engrave it as well. And then you move it over here to this position, and the position is 0.25 is 0.25. So once you have it over in that spot, then you want to take your image and your little circle and select both of them, and see how they're both highlighted gray over here on the far right, and you want to click attach. And so now when you go to click make it, this "Be Kind" is going to show up, exactly on this spot on the mat. Because it's going to align from this circle, and the circle is going to be all the way up into this 0.25 position. And then let me go over the reason why I have this "Be Kind" here. Let me turn the grid on, and over here I'm going to unhide this basic cut. So this square that I have here, it is 4 by 4. So this is mimicking my aluminum sheet. And so I know I'm going to place my aluminum sheet on my mat at the 2" on the vertical side and the 2" across the horizontal. So this corner of my aluminum sheet is going to go right here. And I have taken this sheet and my image and selected both of them, and I did align and center. So those are both centered up. And then I don't need the square anymore because that's just the aluminum sheet, and I'm going to hide it. So that way, when I click on this and click on the little circle and click attach, then that is how all of that will work. So I'm going to hit the make it button, and it'll show you right there. So the 0.25 and the 0.25 for this circle, that is the border of your Cricut mat. So your Cricut machine, it will not cut any, closer to the edge beyond that 0.25 this way and 0.25 this way. That's why they say when you make a project, your project can't be any bigger than 11.75 by 11.75 when you're using the Maker 3. And that's the size, the biggest size you can use. So that's the little trick. So you have the little circle up here, and you attach your image once you've figured out where you want it to be on your mat, and you'll get flawless execution. In the browse all materials, you can either type in aluminum up here, but I see it popped up right here, so I'm going to pick aluminum sheets, and now I'm ready to go. It's making sure I have the engraving tip in clamp B, and I'm ready to go. So I'm going to put the aluminum down on the mat, and like I said, I want this to be at the 2 and the 2. So I'm going to put the corner of it right there where the 2 and the 2 intersect. So we got that like that. And then I'm going to tape around the edge. So it's really important, since my image is 3.5 inches tall, or the dimensions of it's 3.5 inches. My tape, I want to make sure I just get it on the very edge of the aluminum, just so I make sure that the aluminum is down. You'll want to make sure you have a really sticky mat. You could use the strong grip mat, but my green one, this is a fairly new mat, so I think this one will hold it well. And so you can see, kind of bring it up, I have it just barely because I don't want it to interfere with my engraving tool. And then I'm going to put a little bit of tape up in this corner so the engraver doesn't accidentally scratch my mat. So let me get the rest of this taped up. I have my aluminum piece on the mat at the 2 and the 2. I've put some tape up here where the little circle will engrave, and then I've taped around the edges of this. So I'm excited. Let's see if it's going to work. And I just want to clarify, so because I have that little circle at the 0.25 and 0.25, and I've attached it to my design and design space, the way Cricut goes to arrange things on your mat, it automatically starts up in that upper corner and places your projects, and then it'll put the rest of them on your mat as a default. And so that's why you put that circle at the 0.25 and 0.25, because then it's going to put it right there, and then it knows that the image is that it's attached to my B image will show up perfectly centered on this aluminum. Just checking to make sure I have the right blade in there. The other thing to remember is move your star wheels over, because they won't work well with your aluminum there. All right, here it goes. Let's see how it does. I think it might take a little bit of time. It's looking pretty good so far. You can see that. I think it turned out pretty good, you all. I'm gonna apply some sort of inks, I think, to try to bring out the design so it's a little more visible. So I'm working on a way to get the engraving image to show up a little bit better. You can see down below the flowers, down by my thumb. It's hard to see those, but the Be Kind shows up pretty much at any angle. And what I'm using is this alcohol ink from Ranger called Teakwood. And I think I'm liking the results so far. I think the Be Kind is definitely pops. You can see it. Whereas the flowers down below where I haven't put any alcohol ink, it's kind of hard to see them. I wanted to show you the technique of how I was doing this. So before I settled on the teak wood, I was trying out several different, I have this patina right here. And then I was also trying out several of the different colored alcohol inks. And you can see on this test cut that I did, I was playing around. You can kind of see a little bit of the blue there and a little bit of the coral. And then I came across the teak wood and I really like that. So I did my actual image with the teak wood that you just saw. So let me show you how I put it on here. So I'm going to do it with the teak wood, and it's really easy. I just make sure you got a protective surface here, and I just put a little bit of the oil out here, or the alcohol ink out here, and then I just brushed it over the image like this. And just let it sit for a few minutes. And it's as simple as that. So then I just let that sit. As soon as you're done, it's good to put this into some water to clean it off so that it doesn't dry on your brush. And then once you've had it sit on there for as long as you really want it to, really. So I tried this alcohol blending solution, but that really just spread it all over the place, so I didn't really want that. So I thought I would try fingernail polish remover. And the other thing is you want to make sure you have a rag that doesn't have a lot of lint, and like a paper towel will shred over the engraved portions. So I found an old washcloth was kind of the best option. And so then you just kind of wipe, and then you'll want to find a clean spot once you get the bulk of it and go back over it and wipe up any of the residue. And if you need just a little bit more, just put a little bit more on here. So again, it's a clean spot. And then I just wipe down any of it that has spread elsewhere. And then you can see that the black is in there. And now look how much easier it is to see the image. I really like how that came out. I don't know if this is going to be the final spot where I keep this image, but I just wanted to show you. You know, you could do all kinds of things. And I had this picture frame, and I think I got this from the Target dollar spot. I think it was $5 or $3, and it came with this stand. So I think that looks nice. And I can even add, you know, if I wanted to add some more decorations around the outside. But I really like how this turned out. I haven't decided if I'm going to use it in a journal or if I'm going to use it for decor. Let me know what y'all think about this engraving project. And do you all have the engraving tool? If so, what projects have you made with it? I've also created a Facebook group. So if you are interested in joining that Facebook group, I have the link down below in the description. Thanks for watching. See y'all in the next video.